In today's episode of the Prime People Podcast, we have the queen of real estate video and one of the best agents on the planet, a close friend of the Prime family, Mrs. Glenda Baker. And I've actually seen her in the trenches. One of the reasons I actually brought her on the show is a lot of people think she never wants to sell another house again because she's a big influencer right now. But she's going to break down how actually her passion for real estate is on fire more than it has ever been before, expose a lot of things about the influencer economy, and give her thoughts on what it means to be a great real estate agent. As always, if you think you know somebody who would appreciate this information, share this episode with them, and let's get right to it.
Welcome to Prime, real conversations in real estate.
December 11th, right now. What is your market doing in Atlanta?
It's awesome. Do you know, I will tell you, 3 weeks ago, I wasn't sure I was going to sell another house this year. I got 3 under contract last week. I've gotten 2 under contract this week. And I'm like, oh, my stars and stripes. I had a lady reach out to me today about selling. So yeah, I mean, I'm going on a listing appointment after I finish with you today. So, I mean, it's good. It's good. Everybody seems to be excited for 2026, and I am too.
That's awesome. What are you doing to kind of stay in front of those people? Like, how did the buyers come to you and the sellers come to you? Is it just nurturing your database, or how did those deals actually come to you?
Yeah, a variety of reasons. Referral from past client. The Instagram is a seller and a buyer. The referral of a past client is a buyer and then a seller. So a lot of different ways. And I have to tell you, I have had some amazing agents on the other side of the deals.
Yeah.
Which has been I almost don't want to say it too loud, because I have got 3 ladies on the other side of each of these deals that are consummate professionals, that are, let's do it, let's go, can't wait, excited, passionate, excited for their people and excited to work with me. It has been just amazing.
It does make a huge difference. I think you touched on a couple of topics there. The difference between your average agent and the ones that are truly passionate about the craft of this business and what a difference it could make on the deal making side of things. What do you think differentiates somebody that's great to work with on the other side of a deal versus somebody that's not?
They're excited.
Yeah.
And they're positive, and their mentality is, let's do this. Let's get to the closing table. They're not all bowed up, and they're not having to prove themselves that they're right, or that their position is right, or that their client is right. They're just like, I mean, I had a situation yesterday on an inspection, and we were in the repair resolution period, and I didn't have conclusive or validated evidence, but I had something that looked like there could be mold. And so I pick up the phone, I call the agent. She answers the phone. What a concept, right? Mm-hmm. She answers the phone, and I say, hey, I need to talk through this with you so that you understand everybody's on the same page and we're all moving in the same direction.
For sure.
And she was receptive, and she's like, absolutely, let me talk to the seller. We'll get that taken care of. Certainly understand the concern. Let's just go ahead and do a revision to the amendment. So it was just this, it's not like, what are you talking about? Like, why do we have to do that? Like, I think that's ridiculous. Obviously it was wrong. None of that. Very just, let's do it. Let's go. So it's been such a cooperative experience.
I love that. I actually got a text message before we shot this podcast on an inspection on one of my listings, and they found knob and tube wiring, which here is something you find quite often in older homes. And you'll have 2 types of postures. One is the agent just wants to kill the deal because they don't know how to rectify the problem. And I was like, amazing. We will find a way to make this work, right? And my seller hadn't come up when he bought the place, and he didn't buy it with me, so maybe his inspector missed it. But we're going to build a bridge, and we're going to find the deal. I mean, it's not rocket science what we do at the end of the day, but it does take that grit and determination to work for the deal, pick up your phone, and be reactive to people rather than, just put your head in the sand. We're in one of the hardest markets I've ever seen in Canada right now, economically, definitely not doing the same as, oh, it's nuts. I think it was the stat that we did was we had to do 552 transactions to do about 260 million in sales as a team.
Right.
Where in like 2022, we probably would have had that same production with like 300. So a lot of deals blowing up, a lot of deals falling apart. Here's another fun stat for you: 719 phone calls to make 20 connections with people. From a lead perspective, it's just everything's in a holding pattern because unemployment's in a tough spot. People don't have money to spend, and just the sentiment is palpable. But it is separating the agents that just show up and do the same thing every single day. They just do the job of being an active real estate agent versus everybody else who's waiting for the handouts or waiting for, the market to pick up to really start showing up to work, which excites me because I think when things do turn around, we're going to be much better equipped to capitalize. But I think this is the crux of why I wanted to bring you on. Touching on another point, you mentioned that you have leads coming from Instagram. We've gotten more leads in the last couple months off of direct messages and content that we're putting out on Instagram. So I see that like people are in community, but you are the same person that people would deem to be an influencer that I know who is an actual practicing real estate. And I think that's why you're finding success as an actual practicing real estate and as somebody who would be deemed an influencer versus in this industry, there's a lot of people who are influencers who don't actually do the job, who aren't actually good real estate agents. And I actually wanted to dig into the real estate side of Glenda more than anything else. So let's touch on that for a minute. The science behind separating the wheat from the chaff. So if I'm a consumer and I'm looking at an agent on Instagram, how do I identify Glenda, who's actually a practicing agent versus somebody who's all smoke and mirrors?
Well, Justin, it's really difficult. It is really difficult because people are really good at painting this picture and putting out there that, they're walking in front of this beautiful listing. It's not even their listing.
Mm-hmm.
They're walking through the house with these buyers that are not their buyers, they're just their cousins. And there's this perception that they're doing business and they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably what makes my head spin around and snot fly out of my nose more than anything, is because the consumer is being misled. And you see it in every business, in lots of different industries. But I think that in real estate, it is so easy for people to look like a practitioner when they are nothing but a poser.
Mm-hmm.
So I will tell you, if you are looking for a real estate agent and you are looking on Instagram, you're going to find a lot of content that is not in context. And when I talk about context, I want you to think through case studies, success stories, actual transactions that they've been able to identify a problem and be the solution and bring the parties together. So if you pick up the phone and you call somebody and you get somebody, Isabel from Instagram, and, you think that she's done a lot of deals, vet that person out. Ask for a list of transactions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it may sound old school, but you need a list of transactions that they've done in the last 12 months. How many buyers did they represent? How many sellers did they represent? And how many contracts did they write? Justin, sit down. I want you to sit down and grasp tightly. I saw an Instagram post last week, and the Instagram post was one of those brag posts,
Mm-hmm.
the humble brag. I wrote 127 contracts last year. I closed 34 deals. They think that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, are you insane? You had to write 127 contracts to get 34 closed? Like, what the hell are you doing? The offer that you're writing, terrible. Are you not managing the expectation of the buyer? Are you not managing the expectation of the seller? What did you do that you only hit 25% of the offers that you wrote?
Yeah.
And so that's the thing, is like, you think that's a good, I'm going to work hard for you. My clients don't have the luxury of missing out 3 out of 4 times. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I just think it's really critical to understand how many contracts did you write? How many got accepted? How
For
many
sure.
deals did you keep together? How many fell apart? What is the biggest pain point in your business? Where do you struggle the most? This is a job interview. When you go in to sit down with the seller, when you go in to sit down with the buyer, ask those questions. The consumer should be asking these questions of every real estate agent that you consider working with, period, bottom line.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I think case studies are the most important thing, right? Like I'll
Yeah.
walk into listing appointments and I know a lot of times people just want to showcase their production in general, but a lot of times I just tell them, okay, well, let's look at individual case studies and the impact that the agents were able to make on those individual sales. Because you can hire the person that does the most sales, or do you want to hire the person that ends up getting the best result? And you had actually discussed in a private real estate mastermind group we were talking the other day about going into a market where there's the one person that sells every single house in that neighborhood. Quite often I'm in that situation because we cover such a large territory. The people that hire us because they want to achieve results that they don't typically see in their neighborhood, or they have a unique property, or they're looking for a different tool for the job. But there's so many smoke and mirrors in this industry when it comes to people showcasing their productions, sharing out their numbers, or using things like other people's listings to act the part when they haven't actually put their reps in yet, right? And I also think there's a big delineation between real estate agents that are actually agents, real estate team leaders that are running mega teams that maybe have 1,000 transactions a year to their credit, but they've never given a piece of advice on any of those transactions. They wouldn't know the names of any of the sellers, any of the deals. They're essentially playing the role of what brokerages used to play. And then there's the whole brokerage world within the ecosystem where, I mean, they're competing with other brokerages. They're more so in the agent recruiting business than they are in the selling actual homes business.
Right.
And then there's the influencers that never want to sell a house again for the rest of their life. And I think like consumers don't even see what we see from that capacity where you and I can see it at the drop of a hat. And we know that that person is either getting you in a funnel to sell a course, recruit you into their downline, or show you how you can never have to sell a house again. And I think the other reason I wanted to bring you on was we are kindred spirits where like I never want to not sell a house again. Like I actually like what I do as a job. I want to work with a specific clientele, but I'd be happy selling houses for the rest of my life. And I feel like you're kind of in that bucket as well too, that you actually like your job, right?
It's not even a job to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about the truest statement that has ever been said about me is when the nurse asked Lucas went to the nurse's office. He wasn't feeling well at school. And she said to him, she goes, "Does your mom work?" Because she was trying to figure out, does she call the mom or does she call the dad?
Mm.
And he goes, "No, my mom doesn't work. She talks on the phone and sells houses to her friends." And I think that literally is
Yeah.
my life. We were supposed to record at a certain time today, and I was running
That is
21
whatever.
minutes
Yeah.
behind, and it was because I was sitting down with a client talking to them about their house, and, they're getting ready to sell their house and everything that we need to do, and that meeting went a little bit longer than I expected just because they needed more counsel. They needed someone to help them understand exactly what needed to be done to get this house sold. And it wasn't something that I could stop and say, "You know what? Let's regroup with this." Like they needed me that moment. And it is like, I wake up every morning and people are like, "Oh, do you have a busy day?" And I'm like, "No, not so much." Somebody said to me, "Do you have a busy?" "Oh, nope. I've got this. I've got this. I've got this. I've got this. I've got this." "So you've got 8 appointments today. You don't think that's a busy day?" To me,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hanging out with my friends. Like,
Yeah.
I'm hanging out with people that I truly enjoy, and I'm getting to do something that I love. Somebody said, "Glenda Baker never wants to sell another house. She has built her brand and she never wants to sell any more houses." That is so not true. What would I do? I was sitting here thinking to myself today because I have a friend that recently retired from real estate. And I was like, I wouldn't even know what to do. Like if I won the lottery tomorrow, like I would still sell real estate because I get to hang out with my friends. Would I buy a lot more real estate? Yeah, absolutely. But I would still sell. I love it. And I love my friends and my people and my industry and my team. My God, what would I do without Vic, Elizabeth, and Eveline? So yeah, just It's wonderful. I love it.
Yeah, and I think that was why I brought you on. I saw that post, and I'm pretty sure I commented on it and screenshot it. And people, this industry drives me nuts because they make statements like that and they try and brand jack from somebody who's built a gigantic profile
Yeah.
like you have in order to get into the algorithm. And like a lot of agents pay attention to what you're doing, and that
Yeah.
person specifically is going after the agent audience, and
Yeah.
it's a strategy, right? But here's the reality of it is, people that don't know that we actually have a friendship could think I'm doing the same thing. Oh, Justin's bringing her on the podcast so that he can increase his profile, whatever. I have known you and spent hundreds, if not thousands of hours masterminding with you. You are family. And when you said you couldn't make it, guess what? I'm an actually practicing real estate agent as well, too. And I was like, oh, amazing. First off, this isn't the Super Bowl, so I don't really care. Even if you were like, I can't do it today, I'd be like, you're still my friend. I don't really care. I went and contacted a lead that I showed a property to like 6 months ago and sent him 2 off-market deals. So I'm like, we like what we do. We're good at what we do.
Yeah.
And we just do these conversations to collaborate and chop it up. And I think so much of our industry is geared towards acting as if this job sucks and you just need to create a brand and financial freedom through the selling courses and becoming an influencer. And like, hats off to you. If that's your business
Yeah.
model, get after it. But I think they're actually overlooking both how financially free you can become being really good at this job, but also you end up meeting people and becoming wealthy, not through the transactions, but through the people you meet through the transactions and the investments that you make because of it. So
Yeah.
have you had any relationships that you've made in real estate that have made you feel like you're wealthy beyond just the money you made in the transaction?
Oh my gosh. So I had another meeting today, and I'm in a think tank here in Atlanta
Cool.
and at Porsche. And we had a marketing summit yesterday for the members of this think tank. So this guy showed this video, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I love this. This is amazing. And I'm like, what platform did you use to create that? And he's like, oh, Glenda, let me give you the person who worked with me. And I got to sit down with that guy. Now, I had no idea what I was walking into. I did a little bit of recon on him, but not nearly enough. I walk into this guy's studio and I realize I'm literally in the presence of greatness. Like,
Hmm.
and I'm thinking to myself, that connection of the dot. I mean, I'm on this webinar and somebody hears me say, I want that guy's contact information. Before that webinar was over, I had that guy's phone number. I had already texted him and said, hey, I want to chat with you, and I had my appointment with him today. So, I mean, that's the thing is like, you think it's all about the money.
Mm-hmm.
I think that people miss the relationships. And it's funny because my daughter said to me, the other day, because I said to her, she goes, oh, what are you doing? Or who are you going out to eat with for your birthday? And I'm like, well, I'm going out with this person, this person. And she goes, oh my gosh, I would think that your dance card was completely filled up. And I said, well, Vic, the majority of my friends are real estate agents around the country.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily people here in Atlanta. Like the connection that you and I have, just so pure. There's not any monetary gain to be looked for. You're not dialing for dollars when you're picking up the phone and calling me. You're like, hey, I want to make sure you saw this. I don't like this. This worries me that somebody would take your brand and do this. And so I think that people miss the relationship. They miss the opportunity to go deep with relationship. Like for me, I made this statement today. Every person that I talk to, every person that I touch, I want them to walk away from that exchange, that engagement with me, and just say, wow, that was amazing. Like, I want you to feel how much I enjoyed being with you. I want you to feel how connected and engaged I was in the moment that I was with you. And I want you to walk away feeling better about yourself or feeling better, period. And if I can do that, and with video, I've been able to do it in a mass
For sure.
way. But just with you, I want you to walk away today and I want you to say, this was awesome. Like I needed her energy. I needed her passion. I'm so excited that I got to spend some time with Glenda because all you have is your time and attention. and you're giving it to me. I want you to walk away richer than you were when we started.
Yeah. And that it's so rare, twofold. One, getting access to people like the gentleman you just spoke about. There were how many people were in your think tank? Like approximately how many people were?
Like 347 people are on this think tank thing.
For sure.
And no lie, that call was at 11:30 yesterday, and by 1 PM, I had an appointment with him today.
100%. It just takes a little bit of intention, right? And you
Yeah.
can usually feel it and smell it, and you see it and I see it with some of the circles we run through, where when people are reaching out to us strictly for something that is to serve themselves versus coming to us in a way that's collaborative, supportive, whatever, they can get on your radar very quickly if they do it with the right intent. And then the follow-up is everything else as well too. It's like some of the relationships we've had with people like Ryan Serhan or whoever else, where like he didn't know my name for probably the first 3 years, but whenever I interacted with his gatekeepers and the people around our ecosystems, it was always from a place of like, man, thank you so much for the information that you gave us. Here's what I think might help you guys. Peace. I'll see you later. And it's so many people in our ecosystem as well too, where we interact with them. They give us ideas. We chew on the ideas. We try them. We fall on our face. We pick each other up, and we are actually in community with each other. Versus, I think there's a huge divide between, say, authentic influencers and the rest is there's a group of influencers that are learning to gamify the gen pop, whether it be agents or consumers, and they're really good at saying crazy things to keep people watching, the Andrew Tate effect, to scale and get the views. But man, the depth of relationship with people that I see out there who are the same person offline that they are online, who are transparent with their intent, with what they're doing online to who they are offline. It is a rare breed, but those people I think are going to have longevity in business and in life, where the other ones I think are going to be burning a lot of bridges just by using that fear mongering, that trigger type posting. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Well, and a lot of people that are selling coaching and stuff, and you and I, we're happy to do like calls and stuff with people,
yeah,
but that is a lot of energy. I
yeah,
mean, that whole coaching thing, I mean, you want to talk about real estate is like a burn and turn. My God, that coaching thing, that thing is a lot.
yeah.
It's a lot to do.
It's a machine for sure. And I think, looking at people that do it as their primary and their ecosystem, go nuts. Like there's some fantastic people that are in those spaces that love doing it. I've met people through the Tom Ferry ecosystem, through Sell It and all the different platforms, where there's some of them that absolutely love it. And I do it. I just keep it for my crew because we're actively trading and I'm trying to make sure that my clients are getting the same service. And I know you do the same. The one thing you said that really stuck with me was how you leave people feeling, making sure that they feel like you were pumped up to be there, that you left them feeling better than they did before you got there. One of my agents, Sandra, I just discovered this the other day when we did our one-on-one, said she got into real estate because of you before she knew me. And I was like, I do a room with her on Wednesdays, right? Like you can come in and actually meet her. And she said it was the story that you told about your mom and the kind of your whole transition. And I think I do want to highlight that you do cross this divide where you're a practicing agent who's good at your craft, but you actually tell more stories about your craft than you do work on gamifying your content. So your approach to social media, storytelling, and bridging that divide, how do you walk that line? How do you still make sure that you're perceived as what you are, which is an actually practicing agent, versus getting dragged into the influencer economy of what it means to be an agent?
Well, I don't even know that I know how to do the latter. I'll be honest with you. Like I I just like to tell stories. My granddaddy told stories. He told the best stories. Whenever he would talk, everybody would just listen. He held court.
Hmm.
And and I think that that's where my storytelling comes from. And I love to give advice. I want people to learn from my mistakes. I don't want anybody to go buy a new Mercedes and a new closet full of clothes rather than a house. I don't want anybody to buy a pocketbook over a house. Like, I just don't want that. I think I learn and I become more accountable by talking about my success, my losses, my failures. I want other people to learn from it. So when I make the videos, it's just easier to talk from my heart. Maybe I'm taking the easy road. Maybe I should be doing different videos that are much more, I see these cinematic, beautiful, gorgeous actors, the whole nine yard. And I think maybe I should do that. And then I'm like, I just want to tell people stories about real estate. I want everything around me to be real, relatable, reliable, and relevant. And if I can accomplish that, then that's what I want to do. I didn't start the videos to make money. I didn't start the videos to be a speaker. I didn't start the videos to be a coach. I started the videos to give advice to buyers, sellers, and investors about real estate and to really highlight where I had failed. And now I know better and I can help you succeed. That was really the premise of the whole damn video thing. But and it just turned out into like, who in the world knew that somebody would want to watch some 50-year-old real estate agent in Atlanta, Georgia? But I think that it's the reality that I bring. On that marketing summit yesterday, I showed the video where I talk about authentic intelligence, the real AI. And one of the things I said, Justin, and I'm gonna tell you, I thought that it really kind of hit the nail on the head. And I put it in a presentation and I just thought that it was probably more accurate than anything I've said. And that is, we are swimming in content, but starving for connection. And again, you go back to these people that brand jack and these people that use other people's videos, other people's names, other people's listings. And is that the person that you really want to get into bed with? Period. Is that the person you want as your real estate agent? Is that the person you want as your real estate coach? Is that the person that you want to be in their downline?
Yeah.
Because they're showing you, like, this person is showing you over and over and over again that they're faking it, that it's not really them, and that they're using other people to build themselves up.
Yeah.
Is that who you want to get into bed with? And so I just think that I want to be real. And a lot of times I leave a voice response,
Yeah.
voice response on Instagram because people think that it's some VA
Yeah.
that's responding to their DM.
That's
And it's
awesome.
me. And so I'm just like, hey, it's Glenda. I just wanted to respond to your text. Thank you so much for DMing me. And they don't even like, I'll get a message back like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's really me.
Yeah.
So again, everything that I do goes back to, I want you to feel loved. I want you to feel important. I want you to feel like that your interaction with me brought you value, made you feel better, made you do better. It inspired you, it impacted you, or it informed you. And
Yeah.
that's not it. And that is my entire umbrella of content, of my life, of my actions, of everything that I'm doing. And as long as I look back and I say, okay, this is what I tried to do and this is how I did it, whether I failed or I succeeded, I was true to myself and to my brand.
I think self-awareness and having these conversations is a big part of it, right? Like despite your profile, you have a very in check ego. I've seen it in play many times where we've talked critically about our own businesses and how we can improve. And I've learned from you, and it's been great to have that relationship too, where you can talk candidly. Cause I find when you get in a room with people and they start posturing, name dropping, inflating that ego, it's what you said. It also kills deals. Cause you're like, why are we going down that path? Right? Like nobody's smarter than anybody else. We're just people. But you also see that in ecosystems where you walk into a room, for example, and I had one of my employees tell me this. There was somebody in our ecosystem who's no longer with us. And they said that this person came to our family reunion event, was talking to them. And all of a sudden, like mid conversation, just like turned around and like walked away because somebody more important walked into the room and they wanted to have a conversation with that person. How do you think that made that person feel? They're like, oh, I just feel like I was an item to them, or just a conversation or a placeholder, but I was worthless because somebody else that was more important was there. And it just showed the character of who that person was. Right. And I also think you touched on something so good earlier around people are going to show you who they are. And there's people that should actually align with those people who
Yeah.
want to brand Jack to do everything else too, because those are their people. The
Yeah.
reality of it, though, is the longevity and the people that last and get the cosigns and really do have a level of authority when they walk into a room are the ones when they walk out of a room, people talk about them, but they don't talk about them in a negative light, saying that person just walked out on me because somebody cooler went in. They talk about how that person scaled the unscalable, how they got a voice note from them when they were dealing with something personal that they just didn't expect. Like, scaling the unscalable, it's so difficult, especially when you reach your size and profile, but it does matter so much to bring a human connection into a dehumanized platform like Instagram at scale. Like, given the size of your TikTok and your Instagram, how do you keep up? Because that's got to be fairly difficult with DMs and general inboxes and all that stuff.
It is coming at me like a fire hose,
Yeah.
and I don't even know that I'm doing a good job. In fact, I think I'm doing a terrible job at managing it because it's coming at me from so many different directions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a lot of people think I'm too busy. I don't really sell real estate anymore. I only sell zillion-dollar houses. I think there's a lot. And so, we're working every day to get better at, streamlining the communication, making it all come into one place. And really, the human factor now more than ever is a differentiator.
Of course.
I mean, I talked about it several years ago when I first started in doing the videos, and I said, people are tired of scripted reality. They want the real reality of situations. We've all seen enough of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. That scripted reality, people are tired of it. And now AI, it is an amazing tool for efficiency, enhancement, complement. It is a great system and process. It is a great $10 an hour replacement. The things that are system and process. But because people have embraced AI to such a degree, there is this opportunity to be more human than ever and have that rewarded. And so, I think that the voice memo, easy peasy, it's actually easier for me to record a voice memo than it is for me to type it out.
Yeah.
And I do voice to text all the time because I'm 800 years old. So the whole voice to text thing is very normal for me. So why not just make it a voice memo? And they love it. And that's the thing, is you have so many opportunities now because you have so much more time. If you're using AI effectively, Mike, how many hours has it given you back in your day?
Thousands at this point. But again, it's knowing how to use it to be more human versus relying on it to do subpar work, right? So I'll give you an example. When I go on and I watch people's reaction videos, or I know I'm talking to a bot, my trust drops massively. And also the value of that conversation drops massively. Now, if I'm talking to somebody else, they give me the initial like 10% strategy. They use AI to compile the 80% of the presentation, but then they do the cherry on top at the end. And I know it's bookended by the human connection. The 80% should be done by AI because it's not the best use of that person's time. I want them focused on, hey, Glenda, what's our strategy? We got a low ball offer. I need a quick rundown on where the comps are, where the market's at. I need a full summary of where we're at and pros and cons and all the different options. So once you give me the report, I know it's genuinely got your eyes on it. And it's the Andy Warhol effect, where 90% of his art, he didn't actually create, came up with the idea. The people in the factory did the 80%. And then he came in and not a piece of art left his factory that didn't have his finishing touch on it. I think that's what you're saying when it comes to AI.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, somebody reached out to me about 123 Banana Street. It's a foreclosure. It is halfway built and it's been off and on the market for 3 years. And literally, I took all of the data, all of the data that I pulled, all of the spreadsheet that I pulled, every single thing that I compiled, I literally then put it into AI and put together a podcast that talked about what is the situation with this house and what are the pros, what are the cons. I put it into a report, I put it into an infographic, I put it into how much is it really going to cost to finish this. And then also, I took the voice recording of the conversation that I had had with the listing agent, literally
Mhm.
the voice recording that I had with the listing agent. I fed it into AI and also incorporated that into all of the information that I had. And the way that it extrapolated the information and organized it for me was 1,000 times better than I could have done it.
Of
But
course.
the interpretation of that data was all me,
Mhm.
because you can pull all of this information, but what does it all mean? Well, what you don't realize, and I pulled the crime report and included that. And the buyer said, he's like, I can get past every single thing in this report except the crime report.
Mhm.
Because when you've got, 23 episodes of crime surrounding 123 Banana Street, it doesn't matter how nice it is. It doesn't matter that it's $1 million home. It's in a piece of shit neighborhood. And
Mhm.
that's where there's crime. And you can't fix that. You just can't fix it.
Yeah.
So I think that it's so critical to, number one, like, you need to know how to use AI effectively to enhance your business, give you back your time, and complement your awesomeness. Like, it really needs to complement everything that you're doing. If I used AI to pretend like I was smarter than everybody else, like, that's not the goal of for me using AI. For me, I'm looking at systems and process and how it can make me more effective and give me back more time and
Yeah.
help me like get to my clients faster.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I mean, AI can be a crutch or a samurai sword. It really depends on how you use it, right?
I
And
love that.
yeah, I mean, you have to. Like the speed at which things are moving, people are expecting that. And they're hiring people that know how to use the tools very, very well, even to the point where on some of my partner deals with my agents, my level of competence with some of the tools and some of the recipes that I've come up with over the years, it would actually take me too long to teach it to them. And it's changing so fast that I'm like, no, no, you give me, like, I've got agents that cover specific market areas where they know more about that area than I do. Even though I'm the guy, I will lean on them and be like, no, you're my partner. Tell me everything I need to know about this street. Give
Yeah.
me the data. I'll run my recipes and I'll extrapolate things maybe you wouldn't see. But
Yeah.
now my client's getting a much more comprehensive look and strategy than
Yeah.
they ever would have if
Yeah.
they just went to some simple algorithm or somebody that just said, here's some comps, tell me what it's worth. Because our value, and we've talked about this off channel a million times, isn't telling you what your neighbor's house sold for.
Right.
It's telling you why it actually sold for that, right?
Yeah. And nobody has done more for my confidence on AI than Samir. I had a buyer, Samir, and he said, I want to write down, let me just write down something real quick.
Sure, sure.
I don't want to forget it. My client, Samir, he said, he goes, you are better than any AI that I have found, because you have context into why you tell me something. When I ask AI, they don't have the intimate context that you have. He was looking for where he could buy the best furniture. So the most high end, the most expensive furniture, but he wanted it at the best price.
Of course.
And so he sends me a text message and he's like, hey, we're going to get new furniture for the house that you sold us. Where would you shop? And I said, oh, go to this place. And this is why I would go. Now, he doesn't tell me this. I said, this is why I would go to this place. You can get the absolute best furniture and you can get the absolute best price. And he didn't even give me the right prompt. He just asked me, where would you shop for furniture?
For sure.
And he said to me, he goes, I have been searching AI for the last 3 hours and couldn't come up with a place. And all I had to do was send you one
Text you.
text message.
You want appliances in London, Ontario? I'll give you Parker's phone number. He is the man, and he will go and find and save you money. It's interesting. We walked in to buy a new washer and dryer, and like we probably would have bought the nicest one that was there, but he's like, actually, the functionality of that one versus this one versus the setup of your house and how you guys are using it. He's like, this one is actually going to be a lot better, even though it's not as much money. He went out and actually did the heavy lifting and the thinking for us, again, knowing the context rather than what is the best unit on the market. If I had just gone to a robot, I would have bought the best unit on the market, but it wouldn't have been the best unit for me, which is where I think the art of what we do is so important. Because in real estate, you might be buying a house to live in, you might be buying a house to flip it, you might be buying a house to raise a family, to, downsize because your family's moved on. Like real estate is art and math. And I think what I love about you the most is that you pay so much attention to the art of this business. And I kind of want to make it cool again. I think a lot of agents are just chasing the math and the leads and the transactions and the money and the fame, where I think you've really got the fame because you know what you're doing in this business as an actual real estate agent.
Thank you, Justin. Real estate, I made the comment today that real estate has been so good to me. It has provided a lifestyle that I never could have dreamed of, both from a monetary perspective, but also from the ability to never miss a soccer game for my grandsons, never miss a cheerleading competition for my daughter, never miss a soccer game, a Valentine's Day party. I have been able to live such a rich life in opportunity. I've met amazing people that have become lifelong friends through real estate. And when people say, oh, she doesn't ever want to sell a house, I think to myself, like one of my dearest friends, Robin, if that was my attitude, I would never have met her.
Yeah.
I would never, ever, like I went to the botanical gardens with her. I would never have those rich moments of life that I've had through my success in real estate. Yes. Has it spun off all kinds of opportunity? 100%. The videos, the collaborations, all that stuff. Yes. But ultimately, my love is people and houses and helping people find the house that will be the backdrop of the memories of their life. Every photo, every father-daughter dance, every muffins with mom, the picture is taken on the stairs, in front of the fireplace, every birthday party in the backyard, every tag football game. Those events, those milestones happen in the homes that I sell.
It's wild.
And you become a part of these people's life, like baby showers and bridal showers. And I was at a funeral a week ago for a real estate agent friend, for our friend from New York. I'm at the funeral of her daughter. This is not like a business. This is my life. And I love it. And it has been good to me. And I treasure the moments that I have in real estate.
I love that. And I think over the past couple of years, we've talked about the recalibration because it can get pulled in many different directions. I did as well too, right? Traveling the country, speaking, doing all the things, but it's finding that balance where those are great ways to get your message out, and they actually do generate business, and it's part of kind of the business these days, but not losing the soul and the heart of what it means to do what you're doing and do it really, really well. So I want to give you the rest of your day back. I know you're a busy agent that's actually in production. I did want to give you the platform, though. I know you have a really big charity that means a lot to you right now. So I'd like you to plug that. We'll blast it out on all of our socials. Go ahead.
Well, before I do that, you said Sarah, correct? That works for you.
Sorry, Sandra.
Sandra.
Yeah.
Sandra, who works for you. So think about it. She knew me before she knew you.
Mm-hmm.
And I inspired her enough to get into real estate. Like, you think about that, like, that's so big.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just sitting here thinking, like, I wouldn't know about Sandra unless you told me about her. So I can't wait to meet her.
Yeah, I'll connect you guys in DMs. She's a killer. Like, she's fantastic, very good agent, works really, really hard. I think you'll admire how she portrays herself and carries herself professionally. But like, you also see how small the world is, where she follows you, gets into real estate because of you, ends up at Prime through who knows how. And then we have the friendship and the connection that we do. And I'm like, she's my friend, right? Like, not like fake friend. Like,
she's my real friend.
Like real friend, right? And it's interesting how with the right intentionality, you can build an incredible ecosystem around you. So.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And thank you so much for allowing me to showcase my charity. So I was actually selected to be in Dancing Stars of Atlanta, and I am dancing for the Alzheimer's Association. And I have been charged to raise $75,000 for that charity. I'm doing a salsa dance, but really the most important thing is to be able to raise money for a cure for Alzheimer's. And, it's not just about the dancing, which I love that part of it. But for me, it is a passion to give back to my community and to also really have the opportunity to do something that's so significant and raise such a significant amount of money for such an amazing charity. So I will give you the QR code. You can just Google Dancing Stars of Atlanta, Glenda Baker, and it'll come up, but I will make sure that your team has the QR code so that you guys can put it with every single thing and put it up. And again, I really appreciate you allowing me to showcase that. And I hope that some of your listeners will make a donation on my behalf and to help Alzheimer's.
Well, if you were watching this episode and you got some value, the link will be in the comments. We'll also be mailing it out. If you'd like a personal connection with Glenda, send me a DM. We do host the weekly morning in real estate show Wednesday mornings at 8 a.m. on Clubhouse. That is actually still going, so you can connect with us directly there. Glenda, hang out in studio after we're done, and super fired up that you're able to come back on the podcast, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, Tal.